out and he jumps on me. Now I need to reward him as he's doing the correct behavior. So the correct behavior is sitting and looking at me. So if I do this, am I rewarding him for sitting and looking at me? No, what am I rewarding him for there? Yeah, looking away. So I want to reward him from somewhere up in the center. And I can have the treat behind my back too, but then I still need to bring it to the center. Otherwise, he'll start looking this way. Now, when I give the treat, if I give it like this is going to be boring for him. So to make it like empty feed, I'm just going to straighten my arm out and get it right to his mouth. What will happen if I start doing this? Yeah, I'm going to make him start jumping if I hold the treat up high because he's going to think, well, I don't get it unless I jump. So I'm going to get up right to his mouth. I can start making him mouthy if I accidentally hold the treat too far away so he has to jump. So I'm going to get the treat down low. Okay, now I'm going to make this more fun. I'm going to start moving. And let's see if that And I'm only going to move a little bit because I don't want him to get too excited yet because he doesn't know this behavior that well. Okay, so when I start, I always start going backwards, and so that means I can go backwards this way. I could turn and go backwards this way. So whenever I'm in a difficult situation, having trouble getting their attention, I go backwards. But he's pretty good at that, so I'm going to start going a little bit sideways with the goal that he looks at me, that he continues to look at me. So the game is, let's have fun, but freeze and talk. So we have an on-off switch to this. So let me get a more fun. Ready, go! So my goal when I get him excited like this is that he's still focused on me. Ready? We're going to teach him that when he gets to the end of the leash, he gets nothing. He should come back to me. He's faced the wrong direction, so I'm going to help him figure out to face the correct direction. And he wants to go over there. Since he wants to go over there so much, I'm going to give him a bunch of treats so he gets that this is where we want to look. And when I know that he is focused on me and he's going to stay focused on me, okay, then I'll tell him he can get this. And I'm going to let him figure out, what should I do? Well, we sat a lot. And when I say, okay, I got to make sure I walk over with a loose leash, because if he pulls me, then I just negated what I just worked on. And right here, when he pulled, I had to stop to make it clear to him. So, you're already sitting. Okay. What's that? Oops. Okay. Back. He's also learning that when he can't get what he wants, he should think about looking back. And he's learning that okay means he can have what he wanted. So I'm not depriving him of what he wanted. I'm just teaching him he has to ask me if he wants it. Okay, I'm going to do another version where we block him. It's cheating when they're already sitting. Okay, he's thinking about that, and I want to train him to think about me. So I'm going to reward him. And then he's focused on me, so I can, for 2 seconds, so maybe not. Almost. 2 seconds, 1001, 1002. Okay. I can just give it to him. Let's do another version. We're walking. When you do this at home, you want to do it next to a wall because your dog might outmaneuver you. And one thing to do is think about, this is a basketball block. You're not allowed to grab a leash because nobody in basketball is allowed to grab other people. And nobody's wearing a leash. So I block it. I want to get in between him. You can step on it if you're... Yeah, step on it.
back under your foot.
Okay. Okay, let's do it one more time. Oops.
I'm doing this a good hit.
Oh, you didn't really see that. We gotta get one that he'll see for sure. Yeah, look at this, it's big. It's big. Yeah. Oops. Okay. And then what you can do is, once they know the behavior, then you add the cue word. Because if you keep saying the cue word otherwise, they're like, what's that? It's just noise, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so at this point, I could just do, leave it. Okay. Come here. Leave it. Okay. So leave it means, now leave it will mean, come over here and get something better, and then you can have that other thing too, even if you aren't going to give them that other thing. Uh-huh.
So, for example, like when he's lying down and that's not the cue that you would want, how do you break them doing an incorrect correct cue?
Well, for that one, I don't mind if he lies down instead of getting it, but give me another example.
Like if
I'm not going to reward the jumping. And I'm actually going to get him back to heel, I'm going to reward him with the treat. But there's other ways that I can do it too. And I think I'm going to actually have a bunch of different ways that we do this. It depends on the dog. I'm just going to practice taking a couple steps and teaching him that when I stop, he knows he can't go any further because his hand goes in front of his face. It's like you're walking and you see whoop. And you're going to actually practice next to a wall in your house. And I can get him to stop because that's the food stopped him. Then I raise it until he sits, and then he can have the treat. So I make this kind of a game. So the way they know to stay on your side is just by where you put the treat. And because when you first start, you're doing it against the wall. And then when you do it a bunch of times, then you just try it without the treat back here and see how it responds. But you usually practice next to a wall because then it can only be next to your side. Then the other things that we can do, I'll teach him to come and touch your hand. And so that he knows that that means he's going to get a treat. So for instance, I can get him to do a turn with me, which he probably would have done anyway. And here, instead of luring, I can target him. This is called targeting. So it's all about just him understanding what your movements are. So your movements really need to